Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about ideolingual method. So ideolingual method was developed in the US. So this method was developed in the US during the Second World War. Second World War was happened between 1939 to 45. So between these years, the US, United Nations has developed the ideolingual method. At the time, the US government found it a great necessity to set up a special language training program to supply the war with the language personnel. So, what was the necessity here? The US had a necessity of what is that? Providing the training to the personnel. Personnel means to the staff. Personnel means staff. So they wanted to give special language training program. For what purpose? Supply the war. So whoever is going for the war, they should have the proper communication. So for that reason, they should have only one link language. So that must be the English language, and it must be learnt within a short period of time. So that is the purpose this ideolingual method was implemented. And for that reason, the US government has ordered American universities to develop a foreign language program for military personnel. Military personnel means staff. So US government has ordered to whom? American universities for developing the foreign language program only for special military personnel. And that is the reason. Thus, the Army Specialized Training Program was established. So ASTP full form is Army Specialized Training Program, and this was established in which year? 1942. It was established in 1942. So what is the objectives? What are the objectives of this program? Means to attain the conversational proficiency in variety of foreign languages. Means whoever is going for the war, they should have the proficiency in their foreign languages. Means they should have the proper communication with the foreign languages. So that was the main motto, and they should attain the conversational proficiency. They should communicate in proper way. The method used was known as the informant method. This method is known as a informant method also. So what is the meaning of informant method? Means if a native speaker is a training, so that person is called as an informant. And the linguist. Linguist means whoever is doing the research on the language. Whoever is gaining the language knowledge from the informant, he is called as a linguist. So this is the way this method is called as an informant method. So what is the purpose of informant? Informant served as a source of language for imitation. So he becomes as a source of language for imitation. And the linguist, what linguist will do here? He supervises the learning experience. Linguist supervises the learning experience. So informant served as a source of language for imitation, and the linguist supervised the learning experience. The intensive system adopted by the army achieved excellent results. So this method has given the fruitful results, excellent results. And what are the main features? Main features of ideolingual method. Each skill. So we know that to develop the language, so we need 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So these are all treated and taught separately. These all 4 taught separately, not together. And the skills of writing and reading are not neglected. So here in this method, what happens? Mainly they focus on listening and speaking. Ideolingual method is focusing on listening and speaking majorly. Minorly writing and reading, means they are not neglecting totally, but it is focused, but in a minor. So dialogue is a main feature of the ideolingual syllabus. Here the unit of ideolingual method is dialogue. Like a grammar translation method has a, what is that? Word is a unit of the method. Here the dialogue is the main feature of the ideolingual syllabus. Direct method has a sentence. The unit of the direct method is sentence. But coming to ideolingual method, main unit is dialogue. Dialogues are the chief means of presenting language items, and they provide learners an opportunity to practice, mimic, and memorize. With the help of ideolingual method, the learner can practice, and he can mimic, and he can memorize. So he get the through that he can get the proficiency in the language or any foreign language. So it is an opportunity to the learners. Pattern drills are used as an important technique. So they use what here? Pattern drills. For what purpose? To teach the learner. So the pattern drills are the important techniques to teach them. And the language laboratory was introduced as an important teaching aid. Yes. So these people, ideolingual method in the US, they introduced what is the language laboratory. For what purpose? To teaching the words or dialogues to the students or the learners. It means the language laboratory used as a teaching aid. Mother tongue was not given much importance. So if you see the GMT, grammar translation method, mother tongue has given the priority. In a direct method, they ignored the mother tongue. Means only target language only focused. But here, totally not neglected, and they did not give the much importance also. Means it is used but in a minimum level. It is used in a minimum level, similar to the direct method, but it was not de-emphasized. Means they did not say to ignore the language, ignore the mother tongue. The foreign language is taught for communication purpose. Foreign language is used for what purpose? Communication purpose. So oral skills are practiced. Yes, in audiolingual, oral skills will be practiced systematically to develop the communication skills. Practice in all the four languages skills. Just now we discussed LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So practicing in these four skills is given prominence. It will lead to habit formation. Yes, if they practice in four language skills, it becomes a habit. Then they can get the proficiency in the foreign language. Though many activities are undertaken to develop oral skills, focused on the language program to develop oral skills, and practice taken up only on the experience that they gain through listening. Yes, based on their experience, they focused on listening skills. So through that, many oral skills are developed. What are the oral skills? They focus here. Repetition. Repetition means the students repeats an utterance as soon as she or he hears. She or he hears. Means whatever teacher teaches, the learner or students, he repeats. That is called as a repetition. Inflection. One word in a sentence appears in another form when repeated. Yes, teacher says one structure or one form. So based on that structure, students uses another structure, another form. So if a teacher is teaching in a simple tense, then student can react in a simple past. So that is called as another form. Replacement. One word is replaced by another. So here replacement means, suppose a teacher is using pronouns. Did you come? Then student says, did he come? Means instead of you, the student is using he. Instead of you, example, teacher says, did you come? Then student says, did he? Instead of you, he changes, replace the word. Did he come? So through this, student can learn more. And restatement, the student rephrases an utterance. So they can give the restatements based on these all oral drills. The students can develop proficiency in the language. And coming to the advantages, listening and speaking skills are emphasized. Coming to the advantages, listening and speaking skills are emphasized, means stressed. Majorly they focus on listening and speaking in audiolingual method, and especially the former rigorously developed. Listening is a former means listening is rigorously developed, and with the listening, speaking also will be developed. But in a minor, we use reading and writing. The use of visual aids, yes, they use visual aids also. For what purpose? For teaching the vocabulary. For teaching the vocabulary, they use the visual aids. The method is just as functional and easy to execute for larger groups. Yes, this method, like we discussed in a structural method. In a structural method, what happens? It is not useful for larger groups or larger classes, because teacher cannot teach to each students effectively. But coming to here, audiolingual method is easy to execute because laboratory is available, teaching aids are available, and oral drills. Based on that, teacher can teach to the students effectively, and correct pronunciation also will be developed. Yes, with the help of oral drills, oral practice or pattern practice or lab, mainly the lab, language lab. So it develops the pronunciation of the students, and they can develop the structures also. So here, correct pronunciation and structure are emphasized and acquired. Teachers stress on structure as well as the pronunciation. Then students can acquire easily. The learner is in directed role because teacher teacher directs here. Learner is in a directed role. Whatever the teacher is directing, he will follow. The learner has a little control over it. Yes, who has a more control? Teacher has a more control. Student has a little control in this study. Coming to the disadvantages, the behaviorist approach to learning is now discredited. Yes, behaviorist approach is now discredited because it became very weak, behaviorist approach. In the beginning, they accepted the behaviorist method, but later on, many psychologists or linguists, they opposed the behaviorist method. And it does not pay sufficient attention to communicative competence. Yes, ideolingual method, it is not paying the sufficient attention to what to communicative competence. So that is the disadvantages here. Only language form is considered while meaning is neglected. Yes, a teacher is focusing on what language form. They are neglecting the meaning. In this method, meaning is neglected and a language form is focused. Equal importance is not given to all four skills. Yes, just now we discussed listening and speaking is focused mainly, and reading and writing is neglected. Reading and writing is neglected, and it is a teacher dominated because student has a little control over here. Mechanical method, since it demands a pattern practice, drilling and memorization. Yes, here mainly teacher focuses on what? Pattern practice and drilling and memorization. So everything goes on in a mechanical way. So that is the reason it is called as a mechanical method. And the learner is in a passive role. Who is active role here? Teacher is in a active role. Learner is in a passive role. So learner has a little control over the learning. So this is about ideolingual method. Thank you for watching this video. Whoever not subscribed the channel, I request you to subscribe the channel. Thank you all once again.